Before anything else, I just want to take one breath with all of you because this community has been showing up in a way that genuinely moves me. The comments, the shares, the messages from people who tell me that something in these readings finally put words to what they had been feeling alone for months, that means everything. Every single word you leave here, I read, I sit with it, it informs what I bring next. So if you have been here for a while, thank you. If you are brand new to this space, welcome. You are going to want to stay for this one because what I am about to share with you today is not gentle, it is not slow. It is the kind of energy that made me stop everything when it came through, and it has your name written all over it. Stop. Whatever you were doing before you clicked on this video, whatever thought was running in the background of your mind, whatever low level noise has been filling your head today, I need all of that to go quiet for the next few minutes because I am not going to ease you into this reading. I am not going to build slowly towards something. The energy around you right now does not have time for a long runway. What I am seeing for you, Virgo, is urgent in the way that only real, tectonic, life altering shifts are urgent. Not crisis urgent, not danger urgent, but the kind of urgent that makes you sit up straighter, the kind that makes the hair on your arms stand up slightly because some part of you, the deepest and most knowing part, recognizes what is being said before the words have even finished landing. You are standing at the edge of something enormous, and I need you to know that before we go any further. The image that hit me first when I tuned into this energy was unlike anything slow or subtle. I see a landscape wide open, extending in every direction as far as the eye can follow. And this landscape is not static. The ground itself is shifting, not crumbling, not breaking apart in a way that signals destruction, but moving with the deep, powerful, irreversible movement of something that has been building pressure beneath the surface for a very long time and has finally reached the moment of its own release. And standing in the middle of this moving landscape is someone completely upright, not bracing, not scrambling to find something to hold on to, standing, feet planted, eyes open, as if some part of them always knew this moment was coming and quietly prepared for it in ways they may not have even been conscious of. That person is you, Virgo. And the ground moving beneath your feet is not a threat. It is the answer to something you have been asking for in one form or another for longer than you can clearly remember. I want to talk about the word prepare because it is sitting in the center of this reading like a stone dropped into still water, and the rings it is sending outward touch everything. Prepare does not mean brace. I need you to feel the difference between those two things in your body because they are completely opposite orientations toward what is coming. Bracing is contraction. It is the body making itself small and rigid in anticipation of impact. Preparing is expansion. It is the body and mind and spirit opening themselves wide enough to actually receive what is arriving in its full size without flinching away from the magnitude of it. What is coming for you requires the second kind of readiness, not armor, not walls, not the careful management of your own expectations that you have become so practiced at. What is required is a particular quality of open-eyed, grounded, fully present receptivity that says, I am here, I am ready, and I trust the size of what is moving toward me. That is the preparation this reading is asking of you. Let me describe what I am seeing in more precise detail, because the images are coming through with a clarity and a specificity that I do not want to soften or generalize. I see a door, but not the kind of door I have ever described before in any reading. This is not an ordinary door set into an ordinary wall. This is a door that appears to be freestanding in the middle of an open space, with nothing around it, nothing supporting it on either side, no wall, no frame, no building it belongs to. Just the door itself, standing upright, self-contained, existing purely on its own authority. And this door is not closed. It is not open either, not fully. It is at that precise angle between closed and open where the light from the other side is beginning to pour through the gap, falling in a long wedge across the ground in front of it. And the light coming through that gap is extraordinary, not blinding, not theatrical, but the kind of light that makes everything it touches look like it has been waiting to be illuminated for a very long time. This door appeared in your life's path without announcement. It does not require you to have earned it through one more achievement. It does not require you to have healed one more wound or resolved one more outstanding piece of your past. It is simply there. It arrived, and the only thing it requires of you is a decision. I want to speak to those of you who have been in a period of waiting. Not passive waiting. I know you well enough by now to know that you do not do passive waiting, Virgo. You do the kind of waiting that looks like productivity from the outside, the kind where you are still showing up, still doing the work, still maintaining the structure of your life with your characteristic precision and care, while internally there is a part of you that has been holding its breath, waiting for the thing that would finally make the effort feel worth it, waiting for the shift that would explain why you had to lose what you lost, let go of what you let go of, move through what you moved through, waiting, if you are honest about it, for some kind of confirmation from the universe that you were not just building something and building something and building something for nothing. That confirmation is arriving, not as a whisper, not as a gentle nudge, as a full, undeniable, stop you in your tracks kind of arrival that is going to make the breath you have been holding finally, completely release. There is a second image that has been insisting on being named since the beginning of this reading. I see hands working. Both hands, focused, precise, moving with the kind of concentrated attention that only comes when someone has developed a genuine mastery of what they are doing. And what these hands are building is something structural, something with a foundation, something designed not for a season but for a very long time. And these hands belong to you. They represent everything you have been doing quietly, without an audience, without the recognition that would have made the work easier, but that you learned to do without. Every decision you made toward your own growth rather than toward approval. Every standard you maintained when lowering it would have been simpler. Every boundary you held when holding it cost you something. Every moment you chose quality over convenience in the way you moved through your own life, these hands built something. And what is about to change is that what these hands built is finally going to be seen, not just by you, by the world you move through, by the people and opportunities and circumstances that are about to arrive and find in you exactly what they were looking for. You did not know you were preparing for this moment specifically, but every single thing you chose brought you here. Does any part of what I am describing feel like something you have been sensing without being able to name it? That particular feeling of standing at the edge of something you cannot quite see yet, but that you can feel the gravity of pulling you forward. Leave me a comment. Tell me where you are right now. Tell me what area of your life you feel this energy moving through most strongly. Is it your work, your relationships, your sense of self, your living situation, your creative life? Tell me, because this reading is specific, and I want to know which thread of it is pulling hardest for you. Now I want to speak about what changes concretely in the texture of daily life, because life altering shifts do not always announce themselves with drama. Sometimes they arrive as a series of small, rapid changes that accumulate so quickly you only realize in retrospect that they have completely transformed your landscape. And that is the quality of what I am sensing here for you. Things are going to start moving faster, not in a way that feels chaotic or out of control because you are more prepared than you know, but in a way that requires you to make decisions more quickly than you are accustomed to, in a way that asks you to trust your first instinct rather than running it through 17 rounds of analysis first. The opportunities that are coming are not going to wait indefinitely for you to feel completely certain before you step toward them. They are going to require a version of you that is willing to move while still in motion. And Virgo, this is growth for you specifically. The willingness to commit to something before you have been able to map every possible outcome. The willingness to say yes to something significant before you have had time to identify every potential risk. Not recklessness, not the abandonment of your discernment, but a new relationship with your own certainty that does not require absolute proof before it acts. That is one of the things this season is here to teach you. I see a third image now that carries a very different quality from the others. I see a figure seated at a table, and on this table is spread an enormous map. Not a map of a place exactly, but a map of a life, of choices and roads and intersections and destinations. And this figure has been studying this map for a long time, moving their finger along different possible routes, considering different directions, calculating distances, assessing what each road requires. And then this figure looks up from the map. For the first time in a long time, they look up, and when they do, they see something the map could never have shown them. They see the actual landscape in front of them, alive and specific and full of detail that no two-dimensional representation could ever have captured. And in that landscape, something is moving, coming closer. Something that was not on any version of the map because it could not have been anticipated, could not have been planned for, could not have been reached by following any road that was already drawn. It found you by a different kind of navigation entirely, and it is almost here. I want to name something that I feel very strongly is part of this incoming shift. There is a person, or there are people, who are about to enter your life or return to it in a new form, who carry with them a kind of energy you have not encountered in your immediate circle before. People who operate at a frequency that is going to feel immediately familiar to you, not because you have known them, but because it matches something in yourself that has been waiting for its equivalent in another human being. These are people who do not require you to explain yourself, who do not need you to justify your standards or defend your ambition or soften your intelligence to make them comfortable. People who meet you at your actual level, not the level you have learned to perform in order to be legible to rooms that were never really built for someone like you. And the arrival of these people is not a coincidence. It is the result of who you have been becoming. Like frequency attracts like frequency. And the inner work you have done, the raising of your own standards, the refusal to keep accepting less than what you know is possible, has been sending out a signal. This is the signal being answered. There is something I need to say to you directly now, and I need you to really hear it. You have a tendency, Virgo, to downsize incoming good things before they have even arrived. To look at something extraordinary moving toward you and immediately begin finding reasons why it is probably not as good as it looks, why there is probably a catch, why your excitement is probably premature, why the sensible thing is to wait and see rather than to allow yourself to feel the full magnitude of what is approaching. I understand where this comes from. It comes from a history of disappointments that taught you that hope has a cost, that the higher you let yourself rise in anticipation, the further there is to fall if things do not unfold the way you imagined. But I want to offer you a different frame for what is coming. What if the disappointments were not evidence that good things do not last? What if they were the very specific curriculum that built the version of you that is now capable of receiving and sustaining something at this level? What if every time something fell away, it was creating space, not emptiness, space, for something of a completely different order to eventually arrive? Because that is what this reading is showing me. Not a consolation prize, not a partial version of what you actually wanted. Something that matches the full scope of who you have become through everything you have been through. Downsize nothing. Let it be as large as it actually is. The final image that comes through for this reading is simple and powerful, and I want you to hold it with you long after this video ends. I see a key, but not the kind held carefully in a hand. This key is already in the lock, already turned. And the mechanism inside the door is already moving, already responding, already releasing what had been held in place. The decision has been made. The action has already begun. The door is already opening, not because of something you are about to do, because of everything you have already done, because of who you already are right now in this moment, without any further improvement or achievement or proof required. The preparation that this reading speaks of is not something that begins today. It already happened. You are the preparation. The person you have built yourself into through every difficult season, every quiet choice, every moment of integrity that nobody witnessed, that is the preparation, and it is enough. It is more than enough. What changes your life is not coming to someone who is still getting ready. It is coming to someone who is already completely, devastatingly ready. And that someone is you. If this reading moved something in you today, I want to hear it. Tell me in the comments what area of your life you feel this wave coming for. Tell me if something clicked while you were listening, if something shifted in the way you are holding your own story right now. Tell me if you felt the size of what is approaching and let yourself feel it without immediately making it smaller. Your comments are the heartbeat of this space, and every time you share what is real for you, you give someone else permission to acknowledge what is real for them too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting this. I will see you in the next one.